Well, as a performer, musician, we believe in peace and love. And I was very disturbed when the Niger Delta problem started. But it was actually created by one of our last military dictators.
Challenge of the Niger Delta is a challenge of finding meaning, a new kind of meaning for people who lived in deprivation, who have really also been put in a corner where an entitlement mentality over gain from oil has replaced a sense of how you produce your way out of poverty.
From the amount of energy the conflicts can produce, it just shows the amount of energy the greatness can also become. I imagine the Niger Delta that based on how much productivity and how much influence that area has over even the economy of the country, it just shows that it's a force to reckon with. We just need to like redirect that force and turn it to a positive energy, and it is limitless what can happen from there.
If we're going to get a Niger Delta without violence to end the conflict, unfortunately there's so much corruption, a lot of money has to exchange hands, and the people have to be made aware of what is going on. The people out there who just get led like sheep to the slaughterhouse, they have to be made to understand exactly what is going on and what we're going through, so they can decide for themselves, because we don't want the violence. I don't want the violence.
I've always believed that non-violence is the best way to resolve the crisis and the problems of the Niger Delta, because violence has only compounded the environmental destruction of the region, and non-violence would harness the energies, creative energies of communities and of peoples of the Niger Delta.
We believe that you cannot use a destructive means to get a constructive end. So like what my boss will always say, according to the Kenyan non-violence principles that we use in my organization, we always preach peace, and we tell them, look, there are so many ways you can address these issues that are going on, be it whatever, non-violently. Because if you have people of goodwill around you, you'll be able to settle so many problems in your environment. And with the help of the media and the government, I know it will go a long way in solving them.
The media has a lot role to play. The media should be showcasing leaders that have done well in their various societies, that have changed their situations, their communities. If our younger generation continue to see leaders like that as role models, I tell you the situation will change. Not only those who have carried arms, who have made it through the wrong means. If you continue to showcase those people to the younger generation, they also key into that direction.
There is grave need in the Niger Delta to plant peace and to nurture it, and hope that in the future we can also reap peace in the region. But this requires a lot of effort. And I know there are well-meaning people all over the Delta who are involved in this peace effort, notably the civil society in the Niger Delta, the churches, in some areas of government, and even within civil society and the communities themselves. People are tired of conflict, and they need a leeway, a soft landing of some kind, negotiation, some way of making them feel that their lives are worthwhile. And I think that this is what is required in the Delta.
What I'd like to see in the next 5-10 years in the Niger Delta is simply a land of peace, where children can be children, can be comfortable, safe on the roads, getting an education, and just living life as should be, normally as children would be.
So the media now has the power to play the goodwill ambassador that brings the message of positivity and says to people like, look, there is a way out. We can get results without bloodshed. Why don't we have a conference and we can speak? You get it? We can talk, we can dialogue, and at the end of the day, we will get results. Bloodshed, violence is not the end of it. It doesn't justify anything, because at the end of the day, you end up, it's even a lot more expensive violence and bloodshed is a lot more expensive, because at the end of the day, you have to strike a balance to make things work. Why not go the easy route and have dialogues? Speak with these people, engage these young minds.
In future, our vision is to see a Niger Delta where we send out our agitation, but in a non-violent way. How do we do it? We educate people that you can use the power of the pen. You can use the power of the pen to drive home your message through some other means other than violence.
Considering that the capital from the Niger Delta has funded the great city of Abuja, which has the huge endowment of the very best infrastructure that Nigeria has, I would like to see the resources of the Niger Delta marshaled to building similar cities within that region, so that the people who have given Nigeria the enormous potential and capacity that she has today can likewise benefit from that dividend. I'd like to see some real environmental justice and some real social justice in the area. And most of all, we want to ensure that we're able to achieve this more so by dialogue and not by violence.
I believe the state that Niger Delta is in now is not just about rushing in there and say solidarity forever situation and just go in and say stop crime, stop fighting, stop. They need to be reassured. They need to orientation needs to come back again on hope, on like instead of saying my guy, drop the gun. It's like my guy, come. You don't say you be king, sha. When you approach somebody from the angle of of worthiness, like you know how worthy you are standing right here in front of me. In fact, you have an amazing talent that I think is hiding behind this camouflage you are wearing. Follow me to this particular place where you can just let people hear you crack your joke. And he sees that he goes on stage and 10 people, 20 people just heard just one line from him and they're like, oh God, oh God, oh God. He's feeling like, okay, I don't need to carry the gun to get that respect. I just spoke and people are like everywhere around me. That's just one aspect of it.
If you want to do publicity on issues of this nature, ask yourself, who are the people you really want to reach? The people in the creeks, do they have light? No. Do they have television sets? No. How would they receive these messages? Do they know how to read? No. So will they read the newspapers? No. So we need to really use entertainment as a driving force and ultimately put together a plan of action that will make these things work the way we require. It's peace we need, and it is unity we can achieve.
The role the media can play is that to actually enhance the fact that and educate the people that violence actually deviates and takes away, discourages investment. And without investment, there's no employment. And without employment, there's no output, productivity, and growth. And that way, everybody suffers. So what you have with violence is what we call mutually assured destruction.